I'm going to talk about the interpsychical glue. And what the interpsychical glue is a defense mechanism that all psyches use to protect themselves from evil forces that try to take from your psychical energy in order to gain energy from it. But it's something that they do. It's a parasitic action, and it's like stealing, or it's like a parasite. So all psyches have a defense mechanism that is called interpsychical glue that psyches can use to protect themselves against negative interferences with your psyche. And how this works is that you can feel glue, and if you swallow and it feels like what you're swallowing is going down your throat slower than it usually does, that's a sign that you have interpsychical glue. And this is nothing to be afraid of, because, like I said, it's a defense mechanism towards negative interpsychical forces and interferences, because everyone's psyche interferes in the interpsychical reality around people. And sometimes in reality you have different forces, and some forces want to gain energy by eating other forces, and your psyche consists of many different things, and many different forces want to eat these things. And they think of it a little bit like a tree that's bearing fruit, but in reality it's not like that. In reality they are parasites, and it's not fruit that you're bearing. It's not like that at all. It's something completely different. But these things that can be compared to fruits, that are a part of your psyche, so what are those things? Well, it has to do with the alignment between your psyche and the general action and consequence chain. And there's an alignment there that looks a bit like a string that's getting bent. And when there is a negative interpsychical interference, they want to cut off that string and consume the different parts of it after they cut it off. So this is where the glue comes in, because the glue glues the string together after it has been cut off. And this is not like glue in the physical reality. This glue is a special type of glue that completely just fixes the string, because the string is not made out of your physical stuff. So we got a sticky situation, basically, you could say. And it's important not to be perfectionist always. So this glue that you have, it feels, like I said, like you're swallowing and it goes down slower. But this glue is actually honey, and it's really nutritious. If you grow out new branches, this works kind of like minerals for your plants. So you can buy minerals in a plant store and give them to your plants, and the plants grow faster. And if you're gonna grow branches of your interpsychical body, those branches are going to grow a lot more efficient with this glue. Okay? And this is the thing that many people don't understand, because people think that this glue only slows down thoughts. It slows down the growing of branches. And some people want to completely get rid of this glue. They are scared of this glue, maybe. They don't know what is happening. But this is completely normal, and this has to do with uncovering new regions of your field of vision, because one person is standing on a mountain and they see some cars that are going on a road, and another person sees a large building in the back, because people have different fields of vision, which means that they choose to see different things in their vision. And some people have and what this means is that if a person is scared of the glue, they will react by just moving around very, very quickly, and you can't do that because you will get stuck to the glue, and it can turn into a mess. So what you have to do is you have to use the glue as a way to grow branches efficiently. And this is basically what you need to tell an artist that's trying to make something and getting stuck. What he needs is glue. He needs glue, and it's the type of honey glue that you get from the defense mechanism of interpsychical interference, because nothing can be created if there isn't inspiration. And what inspiration is, it basically has to do with, well, many things. Inspiration is what drives your creativity, and inspiration has nothing to do with the glue. But the glue is sort of like the medium in which your inspiration is taking place. And therefore it's very important to suck up the glue when you're creating new branches, because in that case they can grow and be really large and really long, and they can bear a lot of fruit. And of course this fruit is not like your apples on an apple tree. No, this fruit is more like I could call it more like the trees themselves. They grow on a mountain. So what you want to do is you want to bear a lot of fruit, and what you don't want to do is get slowed down by the glue, because you can also get slowed down by this glue if you move in the glue in a way that is not in a way that is basically moving in a certain dimension, because this glue is taking place in many interpsychical dimensions. And if you move here in the moss, I found a smoke mushroom. Here I can tap it with my 2 fingers like this. I just squeezed it and it came out smoke. Here's a little smoke mushroom. So the glue, basically. Yes. Now there's an insight that you can have, and it has to do with the glue, and it has to do with growing branches while the glue is in the soil, because this glue contains minerals that can make growing branches a lot easier, and because trees need even certain minerals to be able to grow branches in the first place. You cannot plant trees in a pot of ash or a pot of grinded up wood. That doesn't work. They need minerals to grow. And just like that, your psyche needs glue to flourish, and the glue is a defense mechanism against hostile interpsychical forces or interferences, because all interferences are basically a part of the interpsychical reality around people. And what you have to do as a psyche is to will be a healthy psyche, and don't be attacked by interpsychical interferences. And if you do, your psyche can react by protecting itself with the glue. And the glue is made out of honey, which means that it's very sweet but very sticky. And there's also many minerals in the glue. So next time you, for example, you can play piano, and all of a sudden there's a lot of glue everywhere. So what you don't want to do is spill the glue all over the piano. Then you have a sticky situation. What you want to do instead is you want to let that glue ooze out from your fingers, or into your fingers basically, and then you into the notes that you're playing. So you play notes and the glue oozes into the notes that you're playing that make up the music that you're hearing, and it helps because it sticks together the imagination. It's like it's very useful, and like I said, you can glue a string together and then you get a connection, and you can play on the string like a guitar. So if you just let yourself grow branches in this glue, it's gonna be nice. And what you have to do is you have to just be very observant. When is the glue present? It can feel like when you're swallowing, whatever you're swallowing goes down slower. That's a sign that you have interpsychical glue. And the thing is that this interpsychical glue always, because everything is basically different types of forces, and especially in the interpsychical reality, everything works like a fractal, and there's a lot of similar things happening, but there's also a lot of not similar things happening. And the similar things always work in the same way, and they always have to do with good and evil forces. And it's always about some forces stealing from other forces, and some forces making connections to other forces. And the mechanics of this works in the way that there is always going to be glue as a defense mechanism when a force is trying to be hostile against another force. And this is as it should be, because the glue can then be used to create a connection between two forces, so that the connection can be re-established. And what this means is that you can use this is basically the source of inspiration right here. Because when you make music, you will be inspired. And if you have the glue, you can create new connections and build new bridges and grow new branches. And what this means is that you will have a beautiful tree standing, and you can then water it, take care of it, make sure that it grows. And there's always going to be interferences, there's always going to be parasitic forces that tries to overtake this tree and that tries to break it down. And sometimes it happens that the tree dies, dead. Parasite takes over and it dies. But don't be afraid. You can always grow a new tree, because you are not the tree that you grew. The tree that you grew is only sort of like a Christmas tree that you have in your apartment to celebrate Christmas. And you can live a life where you don't grow any trees. That's completely normal. It's completely fine and completely accepted. You don't have to fucking... So And what this means is that if you want to grow a tree, of course you're possible to do it. But if you don't want to grow trees, you're also possible to do that. And what is the difference? Well, the difference is that we all sit in a boat, basically, on a sea. Everyone is in the same boat here. And the thing is that some people gotta be the people that steer the boat, and some people gotta be the people that sit in the boat. And this is not working at all like a boat in reality. This is more like a Lyapunov fractal that you can generate with mathematics. And what the Lyapunov fractal is doing is it has many tentacles, you could call it, which is ways that it connects to other Lyapunov fractals. Or it's not tentacles, because tentacles is something that ends. And a tentacle is not a branch on a tree, because a branch on a tree is something that grows. A finger on a human body is a little bit like a tentacle, but a finger also has a nail, which makes it a tool. And a tentacle can be described as an organic body part that is long and that has an ending. And the Lyapunov fractals are not having tentacles. They are connecting to other Lyapunov fractals. And this is like the boat that I talked about. Everyone is a part of the same boat. And some people has to steer the boat. And there's not one person that steers the boat. Well, at times there can be. But most of the time, there is a lot of people that steer the boat. And really, what the goal is for everyone to steer the boat. And no, that's not the goal at all. The goal is just to have the boat on the sea. And at times there will be not many people steering the boat, and at other times there will be many people steering the boat. But there will never be everyone steering the boat, but because always someone has to sit and not steer the boat, and there will never be no one steering the boat, because then the boat would collapse. Or that can happen. It can happen that no one steers the boat, and then it will collapse. This is not a magical boat. This is a normal interpsychical boat, and they can collapse and sink to the bottom of the sea. And therefore it's very important that people steer the boat. And how do you do that? Well, with honey, like I said. Because this is not, we're not talking about things here, we're talking about concepts that has to do with interpsychical nature. So the glue, basically, you can feel it all the time, but most people don't, because they don't have the evolved alignment to do that. But you can evolve your alignment. There are not certain people that are special in the way that they have the alignment and other people never have. No, everyone can have this alignment. It's just that some people kind of are a little bit more attracted to it in the beginning. Sort of like people have different skills and shit. So it's all normal and shit. But everyone is the same, because everyone, at least humans we talk about here, we all have the same type of body, but we have different genes, which means that we can learn all the same things. I know one woman, I read about her on the internet, and she could see a fourth color, RGB, and then some fourth color, which meant that she could see millions of new shades when you combine these four colors. So we're talking about hexadecimal plus two more numbers, basically. And what this meant is that she could see patterns on flowers that only bugs can see. Or not only, but humans can't see them. Like dandelions, they're just yellow, right? No. They have a ring on them in a color that humans cannot see, and butterflies and shit can see that. So, and this woman could see these colors that no one else could see, and I hope that was not just an internet hoax, because now that I talk about it, it seems kind of unrealistic actually. But I heard about it. Maybe it's true, and that would be so dope. Like, that would be incredible actually. But just like that. So people have different genes and shit. So what can you talk about? You can talk about glue. You can talk about pancakes with glue. And no. You can talk about pancakes with honey. And you can realize that you are a little bit conscious of what you speak about. Yeah. Of course you can. You can also ignore it. Yo, everything in reality is either something you feed energy into or take energy from. And the energy can be taken when a thing is hanging like fruits on a tree. Or it can be taken like hunting animals. And there's parasitic relationships, and there are pretty yeah, so like a bee feeds pollen from a flower. That's a pretty friendly you can call it friendly. You can also call it, sometimes it's hard to find words. If I did the drug amphetamine, I would probably find all the words. Oh shit, now I just said something good about amphetamine, so I have to take this back somehow. No, I'm not kidding. This recording is turning into a mess. A fucking pancake with glue. Let's see here. Yeah. I wonder what the difference between a pancake with glue and a paranoid schizo... I'm just kidding. Let's see. Yes, the glue. So I basically said everything I wanted to say, really. And amphetamine, now brought it up, so I should just talk a little bit about that. Amphetamine is a tool that can be incredibly effective, but also incredibly dangerous. And I'll end you on that note.